Hey, it's Jason.
Hey, it's Jam.
Welcome to another episode of Podcast for Your Life, where we share thoughts from our life for yours.
In 15 minutes or less.
Yes, we share personal stories that you're dying to hear and unsolicited advice that you didn't know you wanted to hear.
And all those things, we have 15 minutes to convince you that you do want to hear.
Something like that.
Yeah. We're stacking the deck against ourselves for the most part, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so what are we talking about today, Jam?
So today we are talking about walking, partly because it's one of the things we could think of, and because right before this, I was on a walk, and that was kind of what delayed us recording until I got back.
That's basically a glimpse into how spontaneous these episodes are sometimes. It's like, hey, I'm going for a walk. We should talk about that.
Yeah. It's like we were texting, and I was like, what could we talk about? I was like, well, I have some thoughts about walking, considering the fact that I'm currently doing it. It's kind of hard to do without thinking. Although I guess you kind of can go on a walk and not have really had to think too hard about it.
So, Jam, what is walking?
Very good question. Before we jump into the meat of the topic, I wanted to say real quick, disclaimer, obviously not everybody can walk for a number of reasons. And so we'll be talking about it in a pretty broad sense, but just wanted to acknowledge that not everybody can walk for a number of reasons. And we're not going to get a chance to go into a lot of that today. But today we'll be just talking about kind of the average experience of walking, I guess.
Yeah. Take the words right out of my
mouth. So the question of what is walking, I would say it's kind of in my mind, just the original form of transportation.
Yeah.
It's not gone, but it's the most classic that there is.
I would see your definition and raise you one and say that it is the main method of transportation for humans and animals.
Okay, fair.
Because if you think about it, it's what we all do, most of us do, throughout our day, starting from the moment we wake up from our sleep. Mm-hmm. What do? We get out of bed and we walk I walk to the bathroom to brush my teeth. So It's literally like one of the first things I do in the morning. And then at the end of the day, I walk from the bathroom where I have just brushed my teeth. Again, mm-hmm. I'm not giving myself a pat on the back. It took me years to brush my teeth twice a day. Uh-huh. Thank you to my wife for helping me with that. Uh-huh. Anyway, then you walk from the bathroom to the bed.
That's the hygiene for your life.
That's right, yeah. We've already done hygiene. So you walk from the bathroom to your bed. And so it's like one of the last things you do each day. Mm-hmm. I think when we think of walking, we think of like the exercise part of it.
Right.
But it really is a forever mode of transportation. Even it's the little steps to our kitchen and to our bathroom and to get the mail and stuff. It's like walking is such a huge part of what we do.
That's a good point. And it brings to mind, like, obviously as humans, we've tried to find ways to get places faster with less effort in some ways, less like physical energy that is on us. But if you think about it, when you get to where you're going, you still have to walk in many of the situations. You still have to exit your vehicle, exit the thing that you use to do most of the journey, and go on foot for a really important part of every trip or journey or whatever. So whether it's like going to work or going to get food or other than like drive-thrus, getting home.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't drive your car into your house. We've made a lot of these new forms of transportation, but they don't change a lot of the day-to-day tasks for most of us, I would say. Like you were saying, morning routine stuff or nightly routine stuff or, a lot of chores that people have to do or whatever it is. A lot of daily life still has to happen, not in a car or airplane or bus or whatever.
That's true. It's like it's the micro level that walking is the number one physical thing we do compared to the kind of the macro level stuff. Like, we don't have to walk 12 miles to get water anymore in a lot of the parts of the world, or we don't have to walk into town to get groceries or go to your shop for business or whatever. You can drive and do that stuff now, but we still can't avoid walking, even
Yeah.
though we've tried to limit or lower the number of steps we take in a day.
Mhm.
We still have to walk.
Yeah.
And we probably always will until we're dead.
So even though there are many situations where we don't have to walk, it's kind of interesting how enjoyable walking can be. That's one thing I've been thinking about lately, and I think probably a lot of us have been while we're in the shelter in place order
Mhm.
in a lot of parts of the world still. So it's been interesting noticing how enjoyable it is just to go on a walk. Like
Mhm.
I've always liked walks, and that's not a new thing for me. I've gone on them pretty regularly, but it's certainly had a more special place in my daily routine now than it used to. So
Yeah.
have you noticed any of that experience in your change of your routine lately?
Yeah, we have. Marlene and I, well, there's two main factors that play into like we're walking more. One is we're home and we're sitting at home, stay at home and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not walking as much. And I've heard it said, like I've heard a couple of studies or experts say that like like we've talked about already,
Mhm.
all the little steps add up into your daily amount of quote unquote exercise. Now,
Mhm.
this is like not intentional exercise. It's just,
Yeah.
exercise that happens from the normal routines of life, like walking to your car and then from your car to your office or into the grocery store. Like all that has
Mhm.
gone down with people staying at home more.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're intentionally walking more, like going out and walking around
Mhm.
the neighborhood more because we're not getting those, usual steps that we would get.
Mm-hmm.
But the other factor is we moved just before the pandemic started in March to a new place. So we now
Mhm.
live in an apartment complex, kind of like we've mentioned before, closer to Denton, Texas. And one of the things that was a struggle at our previous place of living is that we had like a gravel road. And so
Oh yeah.
it's kind of hard to push a stroller on a gravel road. It's not impossible. They've got, those all-terrain vehicle stroller things.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever those things are called.
4-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive strollers, But now we just, we don't have to worry about that. We've got plenty of cement and sidewalks. So
Mhm.
so that's helped too. So those two main things have helped with
Totally.
walking. And it feels great.
Yeah.
We're walking around a pond in a local neighborhood nearby, which is great because you get to kind of, I feel like walking, the cool thing about walking is that you get to, like, it gives your eyes enough time to soak in your surroundings
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
compared to driving where everything's going by so fast and you just can't
Totally.
focus on things as much because you're focused on like, I don't want to hit anybody,
Yeah.
or I don't want them to hit me.
Mm-hmm.
But with walking, you're like, it's going at the perfect pace of, okay, I can like take in more of my surroundings and observe what's around us. So
Yeah.
I think that just goes back to it being what we were built to do as humans,
Yeah. There's people who, one thing that's kind of amazing about it to me too, is that there's people who will just set certain goals about the number of steps that and this is not a new thing, number of steps that they'll get in a day. And even though it doesn't feel like really significant activity, it does add up, and people are able to lose, a lot of weight, or at least just like get into some healthy habits that their doctors ask them to do, or whatever it is, just by setting an amount of steps per day that they try to get every single day. And I've known
nice.
people who have lost, a lot of pounds, and that's what they had goals that they wanted to reach there, or people who just needed to be more active because they hadn't been, and they needed to kind of build up some strength in their heart or lower the cholesterol or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And just walking on purpose and having a step count that they're trying to hit made
Nice.
a huge difference. And that's kind of crazy to me. I mean, not in a bad way. It's just like kind of amazing.
And that's probably why the smart bands have become such a desirable thing to have nowadays, because people are like, oh, I want to track my steps because it's motivating
Mm-hmm.
to hit that goal of 10,000 steps or whatever.
Yeah.
And so people are just seeing the general benefits of walking, which seems so elementary,
Mm-hmm.
so basic.
Yeah.
But it's working, just like your friend's testimony. It's cool.
Yeah.
Testimonial, excuse me.
I have a very unusual tidbit about walking that I want to share with you.
Please.
So I have a friend who likes to. We all have weird ideas sometimes. This friend of mine likes to put a lot of effort into executing his weird ideas. So I don't think he has more weird ideas than the rest of us necessarily. I just think he's committed to them more. And so he created a website called Walk Aimlessly. So you go to this website and it just you plug in headphones or whatever and press start, and then it gives you a random set of directions, and it tells you like go to like a pretty open space, don't be like near a lot of traffic or anything like that. Like go to a field if you can, or like a park, and it'll just like tell you to how to walk. So like say like walk straight, and then after a random amount of time, it'll tell you like turn left, turn right, or stop, look around you, like pause for 5 seconds or stuff like that. But it's just the idea of like letting your route be chosen randomly for you instead of you choosing it consciously on your own. And so
it's like the opposite of Google Maps.
Exactly. It's like, let me give you instructions about how to go nowhere.
Yeah. What he should do to promote his website is go to like a, like state park where they have the walking trails and just be like, hey, here's a walking trail map, or you can have my website. It's it's like guided meditation, but not.
It is kind of like that. It's like, you can follow this path or this map that somebody else chose for you, or you could choose your own way, or leave it up to random chance.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's a little bit like those, I don't know, VR, AR apps with like, the Pokemon and stuff. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, because you're just like walking around randomly looking for the animals to capture or train or whatever. And so it's kind of like that, except there's no animals. So, I mean, there's live ones probably, but not fake ones. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty clever. It's super niche, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very unusual. Everybody should try it at least once. And so that's walkaimlessly.com. We're not supported by them or anything like that, but it's just a fun little weird app that my friend made. So check it out.
Have you done it?
I have done it. I did like an early version of it that used to have his voice in it, and he ended up getting somebody who has a good voice to do it. And so the original
Morgan
version,
Freeman, it's incredible. No.
Yeah, the original version had him doing it, which I thought was kind of funny. Kind of took me out of it a little bit. To hear your friend's voice in your ear telling you like turn right or whatever, is a little strange.
It is a little strange. One of the fun facts I've heard is that there are specific songs that you can listen to while walking, and they are like a specific pace. So, for example, if you're
like tempo?
walking to So, like they today, like when you're doing CPR, do it to the tune of "Staying Alive." Like that's the best BPMs, beats per minute, or whatever to do.
And really good message too for CPR.
And it really is. It's just perfect. It's like they created that song for CPR training courses. But the one, I think there's a couple for walking. One I've heard is "Shut Up and Dance" by Walk the Moon. If you go that, you're like a certain miles per hour, and then the Taylor Swift song "Shake It Off" is a faster pace. So just Google like songs to walk to, and people run to songs as well. But it's funny where you're like, oh wow, that's cool. I'm like walking to this song, and I'm also walking 5.5 miles per hour. Walking, you can't escape it. Walking, you gotta crawl before you can walk. Actually, maybe we should have covered crawl.
Yeah, crawling's got to be like some other probably its own episode there. Walking, go places. It's like the advertisement for it would be so funny. It'd be like, check it out. You do a little bit of this, you'll be going places. We can promise that.
Walking, the original movement.
Walking, the accidental exercise. It's like, I didn't even realize I was exercising this whole time.
Well, I guess we've taken this topic for a good long stroll and ready to call it a night.
But what we didn't talk about is our taco walks.
Oh, yes. Taco walks. Well, we'll have to talk about that some other time.
Yep. Well, bye.